Podcast is ready.
We're rolling.
Bonesaw is ready. Sorry, I had to do it.
Hey guys, welcome to the Nostalgia Effect, the podcast where we examine movies from our childhood through the lens of adulthood. Whew, I almost said that in one breath.
Got a head rush
you
that
got-
one.
you got
Phew.
super red and kind of sweaty.
Yeah, my head almost exploded. But we are talking about one of my personal favorite childhood movies today, starring the one, the only, the amazing
Debbie
Robin.
Does Dallas.
Huh.
No, that's not one of your favorite.
Whoa. Just changes everything I knew about Amy.
We're talking about Flubber.
Flying Rubber.
Flying Rubber with Robin Williams.
When did this come out?
This came out in 1997.
All right, I knew it was like 98, 97.
Yeah.
97.
97.
All right.
Yep. So, Amy, this is your favorite. I expect your family didn't go to the theater a lot. So, when was the first time you saw this film?
Oh, are we gonna just jump right into it?
Oh, right.
We haven't talking trailers, Joe.
I was. Hang on. I gotta get this interviewer hat off. It's kind of tight.
Yeah, now that's your main job, right?
Yeah, basically. All right. Let's talk about something that isn't the thing we're here to talk about.
We're gonna talk some trailers about a trailer that Johnny brought up to us.
Something else that starts with F.
Yeah.
What? Oh, yes.
Everyone is losing it today.
It's whatever.
Fargo season 4
Season 4, yes. So Fargo, the television series
on FX.
on FX, created by Noah Hawley, I believe is that.
Hawley, yeah.
Hawley. I can never get it right. Who, in my mind, is now. I mean, if this new trailer looks really good.
Yeah.
I like everything about it. I haven't seen Chris Rock in anything good in a long time.
I mean, last thing I think I saw him in was the Bill Murray Christmas special, A Very
Yeah.
Merry Christmas, which was great, but he had just a small part playing himself.
Yeah. And so this looks really good. Noah Hawley also did Legion, which I know, Joe, you hate, but
Well, I didn't hate it.
the first season was
I just found it inaccessibly
spectacular.
weird.
Yeah,
Like,
I watched the first 5 episodes of season 1, and I haven't really.
Yeah, no, you guys got to watch the whole thing. It all comes together
Well, I just
perfectly.
I just stopped watching because I didn't have the time to watch, and then I just kind of
I got
forgot
you.
about catching up.
Yeah,
I know. But there's things in that show. At least the first season, I didn't really get much in the second season. But I hear the third season is actually really good. So, yeah.
And then it's over, right?
And
just
it's
the
done,
3.
yeah.
Because remember, I watched it and I was like, I want to like this so much.
Yeah.
I do not like Dan Stevens.
Yeah, no, you have a,
Yeah.
I have a
personal
real problem with him.
vendetta.
I do. I
got
do.
beef.
Yeah, to be honest, I haven't really liked much that he's in except for the episodes of Legion that I saw.
But I just...
Yeah.
It's
But
just such a bizarre show.
it is, but I think it's great. I think this new, at least the first 2 seasons of Fargo, the television series, were really good.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed them.
And I watched. I've only seen the first
That with
episode,
Billy Bob
first
Thornton?
season. Yeah, with Billy Bob Thornton. And
I
I,
haven't
did
seen
think
any of them.
it was brilliant. I thought it was really, really well
Yeah, it's
done.
Billy Bob Thornton and
Martin
Freeman.
Yeah, I wanted to see that because I love Martin Freeman.
You
Yeah.
won't like him in this show.
Yeah, I guess you won't really like. I mean, at the same time,
I mean, I like him as an actor.
Yeah, I know, but he's just as a character, he's kind of
not
despicable.
super likable.
but-
I thought that was a really great show.
It's a really-
I
yeah.
really, really like. Which is actually why I watched Legion.
At
Really
all.
hopeful for something that I was gonna like, and I was
Yeah.
like, what?
Yeah, but this new one is set in the 1950s, I believe, and it's in Kansas City, and it has to do with black
I'll
gangsters.
be cold and dead in the ground before I recognize Missouri.
Missouri.
This looks really cool.
It looks like, I love the time period. I
Yeah.
love everybody. Jason Schwartzman's in it.
Timothy Oliphant's in
Timothy
it.
Oliphant.
And a
one?
hat. He's wearing a hat.
Fun fact about Timothy Oliphant in a hat is I was watching currently as of recording this, the most recent episode of The Good Place.
Oh,
And spoilers, Joe, he makes an appearance
what?
as Timothy Oliphant from Justified because,
No. What?
well, he's
I
still
actually-
Timothy Oliphant, but there is a through line of Justified in his character of Justified.
There is?
Yes.
Interesting. I don't think
In
I've
this
caught
one specific
I
episode.
don't even understand how that could be.
it. I mean,
Unless Raylan finally didn't draw fast enough on somebody and wound up dead.
Well, you'll if you have watched the show,
Yeah.
and you're caught up to the current season. I don't want to spoil
I
anything.
am not.
It,
All right.
it has.
Well,
it
then
has-
watch
yeah.
the goddamn show.
It's a good show. This episode wasn't a particularly fantastic episode, but it's a building episode to the finale. There's only 4 episodes left, but there is a through line in this episode of Timothy Olyphant and Justified.
Huh. See, and the thing is I love Justified. You all know this. I love Timothy Olyphant in that show. It's not fair to only want him to be Raylan Givens, but he's so good as Raylan Givens. And I'm always excited to see him. And then here he's wearing a hat, which only
Which
makes
is close
me happier.
enough.
Gets me closer to what I want.
I mean,
So yeah, but anyway, continue. Sorry, got on
I don't- I just-
elephant train.
what was I saying? Oh no, just the setting of it looks really cool.
Yeah.
It looks really slick.
It's the first. I think it's the first trailer I've seen for Fargo that's really pulled me in and made me want to watch. Like I wanted to watch the first season.
Yeah.
The second season, I was like, okay, maybe. And I heard nothing about the third season. I didn't even know there was a third season.
Yeah, that's the only thing I know about the third season is that's the one that was destroyed Ewan McGregor's home life when he decided to shack up with Mary Elizabeth
Oh,
Winstead.
then maybe I was wrong. I thought that the Ewan McGregor season was the third season.
That is-
the
That is
second
the third season.
The second season.
No, it's not
Oh,
the
yeah.
second season. That's the third season.
I'm excited about this though. This
yeah,
looks
no,
really cool.
it looks really
Oh,
good.
Carrie Coon's the second season.
What is the
The
what happens in this?
The second season is like 70s era, and it's
Kirsten Dunst, Patrick Wilson, Jesse Plemons.
yeah, Jesse
Wow.
Plemons
Ted
is in it. Oh yeah,
Danson.
Ted,
Oh my
yeah.
God.
Oh yeah, no, they have it's basically
Nick Offerman and Brad Garrett.
yeah. There's a lot of people in it.
Oh my
Damn.
God.
There's a lot of people in it, but it's basically Jesse Plemons and it's like Jesse Plemons and Kirsten Dunst. They're like together.
Is that where they met? Because they're married or they're together.
Are they? I'm just
They're
finding out
having a
celebrity
kid.
couple news.
They're
all
having
day
a
today.
kid, baby.
Oh my God, she's so old. But she's so old.
Oh, but she's so old.
I saw them at the Golden Globes, but I didn't recognize her. I don't know if she had her back to us or whatever, but I recognized him. I saw
Fat
him,
Damon.
Hey, Fat Damon. I said that to him. He looked kind of sad.
Sad Damon. Sad Damon. The second season is about like another family, and then these two people, and then something happens, and
Yeah.
they kind of try to cover it up, fix it, and it's much of the same. And it's in the same style, obviously,
Yeah.
but it's also very well done. And there's a lot of great people in it too.
So as I'm looking through both of the all of these seasons, it says it's called Fargo, but it doesn't
Yeah.
take place
No.
in Fargo all the time. Because the new one's in Missouri, and then
The first season's in Fargo. No, it's not.
it's not.
It just has a tenuous connection.
It's
to
got
the
a
film.
connection to the film, and like one character is like
One character's backstory.
yeah
really.
is related to another character. In the
Oh, I
movie.
think that's where I keep getting Carrie Coon from because she looks like who am I thinking of from the movie? Frances
I was
McDormand.
like Frances
character.
McDormand. They did
yeah.
not look alike, but okay.
No, because she's also a female cop and she has that like bundled up the hat thing and
It's all about the hats, man. I think.
yeah, it's all about the hats.
Carrie Coon's in the second one as a police officer.
She's in
Remember
the
there's
first season as a police
That's
officer.
I
not
don't
Carrie
remember.
Coon.
Yeah, I
That's-
don't remember.
There's a season
somebody-
with Carrie Coon in it as a
don't know.
police officer.
I think
Really?
you're wrong.
I have a variety cover with Carrie Coon on the cover that says Fargo.
I think you made it up.
I did not.
I'm just kidding. I don't know, but anyways, this season looks interesting. It looks good,
This
and
looks
I hope
really
it is.
funny.
Oh, 3.
It does. What?
Carrie Coon was in 3.
The one that nobody saw.
Yeah.
Which would make sense why we don't believe you.
But yeah, this looks really funny, and there's like it looks like fun. It looks like a fun
Yeah.
series.
Yeah. But it's interesting how much because they are fun, but also it's much like it's called Fargo because it's the exact same tone as the movie.
Oh, that makes sense.
know?
Yeah.
It doesn't really have anything to do with the movies besides like very what word am I looking for? Outside, it's just not in the it's in the periphery, like the connections or whatever to
Sort of the same world of the movie
pretty
without
much. Yeah.
being.
But the tone is always like similar. And this tone, this season 4 definitely looks like it's funny, but also like some shit's gonna go down.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be
I
intense.
love that 1950s gangster movie type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that genre genre, and I know Joe does not like that genre that much.
Well, I like this. It's interesting because, I mean, it's specifically, we don't get a lot of black mob movies in the
that I think
in
is
the
a really,
50s or
really
you know,
interesting.
Yeah.
So it's because it's always Italian or some, white, basically.
Yeah.
And so I like that it's Italian and black mob, and it's
Power struggle.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is I do not like mafia movies necessarily, but only because they usually focus on it's like we're not going to focus on the crime or the action of the crime. We're going to focus on we're a family, and it's like, I don't care that you guys are a family and you're just like everybody else. You're bad guys. I want to see you do bad guy stuff, and I want to see people come after you. Like, it just like that's the stuff I don't care about. It's like, here's this exceptionally interesting setup in which you're going to tell me normal stories about family. That's usually what I don't care about.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
This looks cool. I'm on board for this.
This looks so fun. I may watch it.
You may watch it.
I may watch it.
Which means you won't watch it.
Yeah, I probably won't.
You are a busy woman.
Yeah, I am. I barely can watch Doctor Who right now.
Oh yeah, I forgot. There's another episode.
Yeah.
I gotta watch it
Tonight, when we're recording this, there's a new episode tonight.
But yeah, that's Fargo season 4 trailer. I think it's coming out in April.
Yeah, I think it's in April on there.
Yeah,
but
something
I'm
like that.
interested.
Anyways.
I will be done with Doctor Who by then, I think. So I should have a slot open for a new
A slot
TV
is
show.
opening up in April.
There's only so many.
Oh, Lord.
All right.
Well,
now.
let's talk about Flubber.
Okay, Amy. Same question. Go.
What was the question? We talked about other things. I don't have that long of attention span.
So what I was saying was that Flubber was a theatrical film. However, I know your family didn't go to the theater all that often. So
Correct.
how did you first see
VHS,
Flubber?
which is, I think, in my apartment currently. The VHS. I brought it with me one time when I visited my parents.
Is that how you watched it? Or...
That's how I watched. I'm pretty sure I almost wore out that VHS watching it so many times.
Dang. But for
When I first watched it,
Yeah.
That was how I first watched it.
So you guys bought it? Just like straight up?
Well, it was Robin Williams' Disney movie. We bought almost every Disney movie on VHS.
But without having seen it beforehand?
Yeah.
Wow. I never did that. I've never bought a movie that I've never seen. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
It's kind of a gamble. You're like,
It's
well,
kind of...
Well, it was like back then. It was like
It was the early 90s. Or
yeah.
mid-90s.
It was like it was a Disney movie. So my
Yeah.
parents were like, "It's a Disney movie. It's gonna be okay for kids to watch."
Sure.
So
there
they're like,
will be a certain level of quality.
Yeah. So they're like, we don't have, maybe we didn't even buy it. Maybe my grandparents bought it for me because it was like my godparents would give me a VHS of the new Disney movie every birthday or Christmas for a while. Mm-hmm. And so I think it might have been them. It might have been my grandparents. We would always get like VHSs from like as gifts, or my parents would just get them. So it was probably given to me at one point in like 97 and when it first came out on VHS. So yeah, it was like not necessarily me picking it out and being like, I want to watch this, but it was also like a combination of it's a Disney movie, Robin Williams.
You just had it in your house.
Yeah, it was, I think it just appeared.
It was, it's just one of these things that you're like, I don't fucking know how it happened.
Yeah.
I don't remember where or how I first saw it. I think I might have seen it in the theaters because this was like 97. I would have been old enough to. Me and my mom also went to the movie theaters a lot.
Yeah.
She also likes Disney movies and liked Robin Williams.
Who doesn't?
I mean, honestly, yeah.
National treasure.
Yeah, indeed. R.I.P. So I don't really I remember liking it. I think I remember seeing the commercials for it on TV or something like that. And it being like Robin Williams and just fucking green slime, and it was funny. I don't have a strong connection to it.
Yeah.
I vaguely remember it being a movie. I kind of forgot that was a movie.
So you probably haven't watched this since you were a kid.
I have not watched this yet since in ages. Since I was a child, probably.
Yeah, I haven't probably watched this since I was in like early teens.
Since
like,
you were 25.
Yeah, I probably haven't watched it since I was like 13 or 14.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. But still just that VHS just sitting around.
Yeah, it's,
Worn out VHS.
yeah, it's still there somewhere.
Okay, so
What about you, Joe?
I was 12 when it came out. I saw it in theaters, and I remembered not caring for it.
Really?
Yeah, being excited for it, and then immediately,
And then having a big fall flat. And you're just
yeah,
like,
but I didn't hate it so much. Like, oh, this movie's burned into my brain with hatred.
yeah.
It's just like, I
Meh.
didn't like
Yeah,
it.
it was just like in one ear out the other kind of deal.
Yeah, and it's like but still very much so like, well, that was kind of a waste of 2 hours.
Yeah.
And I recall, what else? I remember I wouldn't say I was a fan, but I remember watching the movie that this movie is based on, The Absent-Minded Professor with Fred McMurray, and also really not caring about that film either. Like this story, I guess it just doesn't connect with me. And I do remember at in Disney World, Epcot, the Journey into the Imagination with Figment. I remember there's, when I was there in 2013, that there were all kinds of tie-ins to Flubber, like in that ride. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, so there was like the door, like the office door to Robin Williams' character's like lab was there. There were pictures of like famous scientists, and they had Robin Williams from Flubber, they had Wayne Szalinski, Rick Moranis from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids there, and like as like the hall of innovators,
yeah.
you know. And so there were like a bunch of little sort of side tie-ins with this movie, and I remember at the time thinking like, oh yeah, I remember that Robin Williams movie that I didn't really love.
Yeah.
That's kind of all that I remember from
Yeah.
this.
So you probably haven't seen this movie since you were 12.
Yeah, since theaters. I did not seek it out. Wait a minute. You know what? I think I saw it, didn't love it. For whatever reason, I still had it on VHS.
But you never watched it.
I may have watched it and was just still like, no, I was right. I don't care for this.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, kind of how you were saying, where it's like sometimes you just came into possession of
this
Yeah,
thing.
it's just like it appears magically.
Yeah.
And like as a kid, especially in the 90s when we didn't have cell phones or smartphones to just distract ourselves all the time.
Yeah.
Parents would be like, here's a video. Sit
Yeah.
on TV and fucking watch it.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And so it was one of those things where it's
Yeah.
like, oh, Flubber. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, God, I hadn't remembered that.
Yeah, this
that
was
VHS.
like I used to be able to quote this movie. It's
See,
like,
I've not.
it was one of my top 5
nothing.
favorite Robin
Yeah.
Williams live action movies.
Yeah, I don't know. This is like, I kind of forgot until you mentioned that we were watching Flubber, that Flubber was a movie that existed.
Really?
Yeah, me too.
Because it's not one that I think about. When I think about like Robin Williams movies, especially Robin Williams movies as a kid, Flubber is not one of them.
Yeah, for me, it's. I mean, not necessarily live action, but obviously Aladdin.
Yeah.
Ferngully, of course.
Which I mean, those are like my 2 favorite Robin Williams movies
Voice.
overall.
Oh, yeah,
yeah, because it's like I mean, not just voiced movies, but like
Yeah.
I love when we talked about this. When we talked about Ferngully, like Aladdin is my favorite Disney
Yeah.
movie of all time. It's my favorite Robin Williams movie, and then I love Ferngully.
Yeah.
because like that movie, I think I watched too much as a kid.
Yeah.
We can tell.
And then also like Mork and Mindy, just you know, because that was his start. Jumanji, Insomnia, which I don't know if you've seen, that came later, but like Insomnia and Death to Smoochie, when Robin Williams was kind of doing something a little bit different.
Yeah.
Go dark.
Kate Fisher King, which was really good, and very different.
Yeah.
I haven't watched a lot of his dramatic roles.
Yeah.
I think the most dramatic role of his
Hook,
that I've watched
course.
is Good Morning Vietnam.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so this is like I'm saying, like Flubber. I think it's. I have no reverence for it. I'm just like,
yeah, I kind of feel like when you look at because Robin Williams is a comedic force in our culture. He's seeped into the zeitgeist, so to speak. But when you look at the stuff that he's done, there are a few gems, but not as many as you'd think, considering how important he is to kind of everybody. And I feel like Flubber is one of those ones that counts against him in my mind.
Yeah.
In terms of like, it's like you look at the handful of things that were really great, that really put him on the map, and then there's a lot of the more forgettable ones. And I think Flubber for me is on that list.
Yeah, I think if I did not already like have such a deep connection with this, I probably would have forgotten it by now if I hadn't watched it a million times and I didn't have the VHS and it wasn't like burned into my brain type of thing.
Gotcha. All right.
Do we watch this?
We ready to watch this?
And now, our feature presentation.
Well, you guys. How do you feel?
Man,
I feel the same.
fuck this movie. I think I haven't enjoyed a movie less for this podcast since we watched maybe like the Tower of Terror.
Oh, Tower of Terror.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
It's wow.
Yeah. Okay, but I'll tell you why, and here's why.
I mean, I didn't.
I was late. Okay, tell me
It's
why.
not a good movie.
No, it's not.
It's very much not
Yeah.
a good movie
it's-
at all.
So much of it is just Like
Kind of boring,
it's
actually.
boring. Nothing happens.
Yeah.
And there's no story, so to speak. And I think what is doubly frustrating for me is for how lackluster and flat and uninteresting and like genuinely, I mean, this movie is essentially just spinning its wheels for its almost entire runtime. There is so much fucking talent in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
'Cause you've got Robin Williams, amazing. You have John Hughes. Like, as I was reading the credits, I was like, John Hughes, holy shit. You got...
Well, he wrote it.
I know.
And we talked about that, I think, when we were talking about another John Hughes
Did we, when we were
movie.
reading through his
Yeah.
I totally forgotten.
Yeah.
And so, like, when I saw his name, I was like, holy shit, John Hughes. I'm... Without having realized it, I think I've now just decided that I'm a John Hughes fan after Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Yeah.
You know, and I just rewatched Home Alone over Christmas. You know, and kind of had forgotten how much I really liked that film. And so it was kind of like, whoa, I you know, and then all of his other films that I had seen already. So I was like, oh man, John Hughes wrote this? Maybe I just didn't get it at the time when I was 12.
Nope.
And then Dean Cundy, the DP, who I don't know if you're aware of Dean Cundy.
You've mentioned it before.
Let me read to
Once or
you
twice.
some of the films that he's
I know.
DP. Halloween, The Fog, Escape from New York, Halloween 2, The Thing, Halloween 3. He did Back to the Future. He did Big Trouble in Little China. Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Back to the Future 2 and 3, Hook, Death
Joe,
Becomes Her,
Joe,
Jurassic Park,
Joe,
Apollo 13.
Joe.
What?
We get it.
All I'm saying is this guy.
We get
he's
it.
all right.
He knows his stuff.
He's all right.
He certainly didn't show up to this movie.
Well, and then you've also got Danny Elfman doing the score, and Danny Elfman's much better than this. And Marcia Gay Harden, who is an Academy Award winner and nominee for something else, for Pollock and Mystic River. You know, like it's
got Shooter McGavin.
It does.
It's also got Will Wheaton.
Will Wheaton, baby.
It's got Clancy Brown.
It's got Roddy McDowall.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got everybody.
Yeah.
Wait, not Roddy McDowall. Is Roddy McDowall in it? No, he's
Clancy
not.
Brown.
Yeah, Clancy Brown.
Which I forgot he was in this, and I saw his name come up in the opening credits, and I was like, wait, Clancy Brown is in this? And then I was like, oh wait, that's right. He's one of the flunkies.
Yeah.
And that whole part, that whole shtick with the flubber on the bouncy, the golf
balls.
ball and the bowling ball, I think, was probably the one part where I was actually I remember this, and I remember how funny I thought this was, and I'm like, it's kind of funny still, but it's also very stupid and drawn out.
So what else is funny is the guy who was the evil businessman. His name is Raymond J. Barry. He's the one that for whatever reason I was identifying as Roddy McDowall, and he's absolutely not. But connection to Timothy Olyphant, he played his father, Arlo Givens, in Justified.
So much
Son of a
Justified.
bitch.
I'm just saying. But honestly, what I was kind of thinking about, have you seen the movies that made us on Netflix?
I have
I've seen some of
not.
them. Yeah, I've seen some episodes.
I'm still trying to work through the toys that made us before I get through that.
That's fair. So there's an episode on Home Alone, and they talk about making the movie, and they talk about John Hughes being this writing machine, which we've talked about
Yeah.
here. And when Chris Columbus got the script, he read it and was like, John Hughes, writer of so many classics, we need to rewrite this and change it. And here's a bunch of changes. And he was kind of worried about doing it because John Hughes' original script for Home Alone, I think, was kind of
Darker.
edgier, grittier.
He murders the intruders.
And
I mean, he does, he really would have in the first,
and he does drugs and has
30
sex with prostitutes while his
Yeah,
parents are away.
fucking
No,
real childhood fantasy.
That's a John Hughes movie, for sure.
but anyway, he the original version of Home Alone didn't have a lot of the heart. It was more just the slapstick comedy, and that's what this movie is. Ultimately, this is
It's got
one of
no
those
heart.
Yeah,
brands-
it's just
Like-
slapstick comedy bit after
Yeah.
bit
It is-
after bit.
it is
and
literally
it has nothing else.
Yeah, it is literally like the kids movie where adults fall down. That's
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
this movie is.
Yeah.
And it is a kids movie.
Yeah,
Yes.
we talked about the difference between family
Yeah,
and kids
it is
movie.
a
This
kids
is a kids
movie.
This
movie.
is a kids movie. So
Which I think is why I enjoyed it so much as
Could
a
be.
kid. And
Yeah.
that's why I watched it so much. It's
Sure.
Yeah.
I was a kid and it was made for me. It was a Disney Robin Williams
Yeah.
movie.
But even so, Robin Williams is not super his character
Is terrible.
he's terrible. He's not
terrible.
I mean,
I feel like the only person in this movie that is actually a normal good person is Marcia Gay Harden's character. Like,
But she's crazy because
yeah, but like all the
keeps giving
other,
him
I know she
chances.
keeps.
Yeah,
at,
but it's
at
like-
the end of the
it's like-
movie, he's still not. He did not change.
Everybody is a shitty character. Even the fucking robot's a shitty character.
The robot's the worst character. And
Yeah.
I was, oh, God.
Yeah.
They took the robot thing too far.
They did.
Yeah.
It's
they
so fucking weird. I remember even watching it as a kid and thinking that the whole robot shit was weird.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then watching it as an adult now, I'm like,
Ooh, it gets weirder.
this is
Yeah.
even weirder than I remember
Well,
it
yeah,
being.
it's like it's kind of like the thing in Casper where Casper becomes a real boy.
Honestly, what it reminded me of was the scene in Ghostbusters when the ghost lady takes off Dan Aykroyd's pants.
She almost went there, but he woke up.
It's so goddamn weird.
Yeah. Fun fact though, that's Jodie Benson, who is the voice of Ariel, the Little Mermaid.
Oh,
Yep, I
nice.
saw that.
That's cool.
But she sounds very different.
She does.
I also feel like a lot of this movie, like you're right, because you said it's spinning its wheels, but it's filler. Like there's
Yeah.
because there's no plot. It's just like the whole bit, the CGI dancing flubber bit. I'm looking at it and I'm like, they just filmed like an empty space and then just put this here and
Yeah.
then it
They
literally
felt like a play.
literally nothing happens. Like this whole thing is and it goes on for so long.
Yeah.
Yes.
I remember from my childhood, I remember a totally different song being there than what they have in the Disney Plus. But
Flubber Mambo.
Yeah.
I mean, that's definitely correct because that's Danny Elfman, and he's credited not only as writing the score for the film, but then there's a separate credit that says like Flubber Mambo written by Danny Elfman. So like that is the music.
well,
for
yeah, I
sure.
feel like there was another like
It's probably in the
actual, like,
trailer.
that might be what it is. I think that's what I was thinking.
Because I remember the dancing bit from the trailer
and
specifically.
there was like a totally different song.
Oh yeah,
I-
because they wouldn't have had the music
Yeah.
recorded by then, maybe.
yeah. So that could be it.
And I
But
think that plays in like trailers on the VHSs before. Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Sure.
I will say though, this movie, like I said, very dumb. Did make me laugh 2 times that I was like, okay, I'll give it that. The one is when he first makes the goddamn flubber, and he catches it in the mitt, and he's like showing it to the robot, and he's like, it's flying rubber. It's flubber! And then it like goes right and hits him in the face.
Yeah.
Just the way he says
that's a
that.
classic Robin Williams like physical comedy
Yeah.
bit though that I like appreciate.
Just the
so
way he
much
does
for.
that, I'm like, okay. I was like, that gets me. Like it still does. And then the other bit was at the very end where they get captured, and he takes out the water gun that's shaped like a gun.
Oh, he's like,
give it to him. He just keeps
No, no,
swearing,
no,
no,
Oh,
just
yeah,
give it to
yeah.
him. No, no, let him have it.
Oh
Yeah,
that's
and
the
then they
thing,
go
it's
and they like, and then that whole bit where he like punches him in the face and just like rebounds.
yeah, well, that's the other thing because like the depth of talent. Because the other guy is Ted Levine from
Yeah.
Silence of the Lambs and Monk and a ton of other things. It's
Yeah.
like, what are you doing in here, Ted Levine? Yeah. The only time that
But
that
I
bit
do
was
love I
funny,
do like that bit
especially because it went so
because it keeps
long.
going. He's like, no,
Yeah.
give him the gun. He's like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah, it's like a bit that it feels like out of all of the other bits that go on too long,
Yeah.
that one feels fine going
well,
on
because
for
it
that long.
because it works.
Yeah. But I will say the only bit that really made me laugh was when that one character says, you know, how do you hold it in? He goes, oh, like everybody else, I just cross my legs and think about something else. And it was just like, that's funny. I'm okay with it.
I'm okay with it.
But otherwise, it was like Robin Williams not playing to his strengths.
No, he
Yeah.
was not. He
He didn't feel like Robin Williams.
No, like it felt like him on a leash.
yeah, exactly. Like him on a leash. Like they were just like.
And I don't understand why, because it's not like if you've seen his stand up, it's not family friendly. It's not the Robin Williams you want
It's
to
like
introduce
Tim
your children
Allen
to.
stand up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Danny from Full House. Why am I Bob Saget?
Bob
Oh
Saget,
yes,
yeah.
yes, definitely.
It's definitely Bob Saget stand
Yes.
up.
And so I kind of feel, so it's not even like Robin Williams has this reputation for being like not safe for families. Like he has been in family things and has been wonderful. So I don't know why they felt the need to like corral him.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, and you could because it doesn't feel like. I mean, because he's supposed to be like a zany professor, right?
Yeah.
Like some zany inventor guy.
He's supposed
Right.
to be an absent-minded professor.
Right.
But also, I didn't know that this was a remake.
Yeah.
It wasn't until
It wasn't
the
until
very
I
end,
just watched when
and
I-
it was like other people watch this, and I was like, wait a minute. Oh shit. I was like,
really?
this. Yeah, I was like,
Oh,
this
wow.
kind of makes a little bit more sense
Yeah.
now because
Yeah.
it was literally like after I finished watching the movie, and then
It's
the
an
thing
old film,
popped
it's like
up
from the 50s or something
Yeah,
like
exactly.
that.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I can see how like
Is that on Disney Plus too?
Mm-hmm.
Also,
yeah, because it showed up. It was literally
Yeah.
like it's the thing that popped up after I finished watching
Yeah.
Flubber.
Yeah.
It was like you can
Oh,
also
I guess
watch this
it's-
movie.
This is a remake before the dawn of remakes.
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
Yeah, and so I was like, okay, I guess that makes sense. But it's not a good movie.
No.
No,
Not a
And
good movie.
It's funny because Sarah started out watching it with me,
and then she left.
and she did leave. And then there was a point like the internet like went down for a little bit in the middle, and I was like, oh no, the internet's down.
Oh no, I can't do anything.
Nope. But there's that line when Shooter McGavin says, "I'm gonna steal your fiance" or something like that. And Sarah, I think, no, what does he say? He said, "I'm here to steal your fiance and make her my wife." And then Sarah rolled her eyes and she said, "That is such a '90s plot line."
Yeah. Oh no, this is a '90s movie.
Yeah, and of course I had to remind her that women don't get to choose in these
Yeah.
things. You know, stupid
You can't
Sarah.
choose.
Ridiculous.
But it's just like, this whole movie.
yeah. Also,
And he's not just absent-minded. Like he's willfully,
he
like
is
he-
just like purposefully like
Yeah.
selfish and
it
does not
doesn't
give a
help-
shit.
It doesn't
Yeah.
help that Weibo is like a bitch and does not remind him of the important things.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
she's in love with him, which is still so weird to me.
I'd kind of wished that like when he missed the initial, when he missed the wedding the first time, that it would have been a situation where he'd been like knocked unconscious and then woke up some hours later and had missed the wedding. Like I feel like that's a little more defendable. He's like, oh, wait a minute, I still have time to figure this out.
Yeah.
Go downstairs, and then that happens, and then he wakes up and he's like, oh no, I missed it. Like that would be a little more sympathetic.
Yeah, like when
but there
he
was
hits
nothing.
himself in the face with Flubber,
Yeah.
he gets knocked out and then he wakes up and he's like, oh, I still got I still can get ready and go do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's like I kind of wish that like more care had been paid to
Yeah.
making him likable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it just and by the end of it, he still doesn't learn.
No.
He still doesn't even make it to the
Yeah,
goddamn.
I'm like,
Who like what person would do this? What
Like-
sane person would marry this person after bailed on like 3 weddings?
and he's still not there for the fourth.
The fourth
one.
wedding?
And he sends a robot in place of himself.
To like FaceTime his wedding.
Yeah, I'm like, that's so
What?
stupid.
Jesus.
And I don't think I really thought about that until this rewatch.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's also really weird. She's like, the robot's like, oh, take care of my daughter, which is like, she's like, oh, I put a little bit of you in there. So it's like, he basically, that's his daughter. That's fucking
Yeah.
weird.
I'm like,
Did he
robots,
fuck the
robots
machine?
don't have feelings. Yes, I said it. Robots come for me in the
Oh,
future.
Amy, that hurts me and my feelings and my feelings programming.
You're a robot, Joe. You don't have a feeling.
He's a Joe-bot.
Robot. I mean, come on. Didn't you feel sad in Rise of Skywalker when C-3PO's like, I am looking at all of my
Yes,
friends.
and remember that trailer that got like
Yeah.
a bajillion views?
And
It's
you-
because I cried at that part in the trailer.
Oh, that's-
But it didn't matter.
no,
It
it
didn't
didn't.
matter.
It didn't. That was
Because none of these movies
there were
matter.
no stakes.
They really were not.
But so speaking of the robot Weibo, is it Weeb or Weibo that is the term you taught me?
It's a weeb.
Oh,
Weebo.
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But it is also like
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's an anime fan.
It's a white guy who is a fan.
it's
of
mostly just obsessed with Japanese culture.
That's right.
Yeah. Speaking of Weibo, also, she is the first meme machine.
She's a meme
Oh
machine.
yeah,
I did
see
notice
that.
how-
yeah the responses with the cartoons.
How
Yeah.
it was like so many just Disney
I was
cartoons,
like-
and I was like,
I was like,
These
that's
sons of
me
bitches.
when I'm texting my friends. I'm like, that's me. I
yeah,
do that.
yeah. The I will say that there was the flubber, bouncing around causing all the destruction, kind of reminded me of the not funny version of which I actually think. When did Men in Black come out? Was that also 97?
97, 98, yeah, it's around the same time.
And so it's
Oh,
funny.
the cricket thing where
and
like
it's like, blah, 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 blah,
Yeah.
blah, and he's like, this thing.
97.
It's like this thing caused the New York blackout, 1977. The
Mm.
great attractor thought it was funny as hell, like that, and that's what that reminded me of.
It came out 4 months before this in July.
Yeah, interesting.
July to November between the Men in Black and Flubber.
Yeah. So that's actually, so it's funny that they're of the same time. There was
Yeah.
like Bouncy Ball was in the zeitgeist. Destructive
Yo,
Bouncy Ball.
What
And
if
they
it
tried to
bounced too much?
Yeah.
And they tried to recreate it in Men in Black International, and it was so stupid and so try hard.
Do you mean the entire film?
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually, literally.
Agreed. There was even a certain point in my notes where I just wrote, "Man, I've lost all interest in this movie." Like, it
Yeah,
was
I think halfway through
It
this,
was
I
pretty-
watched The Mask and this back to back,
Mm-hmm.
and after watching The Mask and then watching this,
See, I did myself a favor and I watched Flubber first,
I did that too.
and then I was
I did
like,
that too.
all right. I was like, it's only an hour and a half. I was like, I could do it.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, I was like, The Mask, and I was like, oh, this is fun. Like, this
Yeah.
is not work at all.
Yeah.
well, I think after I finished Flubber, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go watch all the Harry Potter movies.
Which actually, there's that bit when he's flying and all the people are like, "What?" when they see the thing, the car flying,
Mm-hmm.
and all I first thought was, "You're not supposed to fly a car in full view of Muggles."
Yeah,
That's pretty. I also do like that they just torment a little boy for no reason.
Oh yeah, that was great.
that was another
best
bit
thing.
where I was like, it's just like the through line, and she's just like on the plane.
Yeah,
They
and
just
he's like opens
fucking
up
up
the
this
thing,
kid's life,
and then he
dude.
like closes it and he looks at the dad. He's just like, "Fuck you."
He really does give the dad the look like, you piece of fucking shit. This is the last time I trust you. Oh god. I was also thinking like the whole bit with the robot and everything. I was just imagining a grittier remake version of this, like made in today's world of like the sentient AI and sentient goo.
Yeah.
Just like
Yeah.
going. I was like. Also, can we just say that goo shot out of fucking Shooter McGavin's butthole?
Yeah.
All right?
I remember that being so funny to me when I was a kid. Like, it's coming out of his butt.
Yeah.
It just goes through his digestive system and comes out his butt.
But when you think about it, you're like, oh, it's terrifying.
Especially considering it is a sentient
It's
creature.
sentient.
Yeah.
It's like alive.
Like the things that he does to it too, like the things that Robin Williams does to that. It's like breaking it up, sticking it inside
Yeah.
the engine for the car. Like it's actually kind of cruel and unusual.
yeah, that's why I was like,
Yeah.
this could be like a
But
horror movie.
Is it like
Yeah.
a single cell organism where it splits and that's how it reproduces?
I mean, well,
But
he splits himself up, all the time.
Yeah, true, but that doesn't make it any less sentient.
Yeah, I mean, it's just,
Still cruel.
it's still it's weird. This whole movie is so weird.
Well,
Yeah.
there's like one thing I have in my notes when he's like in Marcia Gay Harden's office and he's gonna like jump out the window and he puts it in his back pocket and it shoots out of his pocket.
Again, it shoots out of the butt essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like he falls.
Yeah.
But it's like, how does he get that flubber back? Because you don't know where it goes. He just has it back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of escapes a few times
Yeah.
too.
And he just like somehow gets it back.
Unless it's out there living like each.
Yeah,
it-
he just has
one
to keep
is-
remaking it.
Yeah, like out there living its best life or something.
Yeah, it's very weird. I'm like, I think you got some plot holes there. Just a few plot holes.
Just a
Agreed.
few.
Agreed. I mean,
In a plot where nothing happens.
where nothing happens. Like even the basketball scene is like it's not funny and lasts too long.
It lasts so long.
Yeah.
And it bothers me that I feel like the comedy in a situation like that comes from people seeing the crazy thing and reacting
Yeah.
as you would, you know?
Yeah.
And people would just be like, "What? Huh? How? Well, okay, I guess."
It's
You
a
know?
basketball game.
And so that's what happens in basketball.
You know, like, and so like that also really bothered me. Like
Yeah.
they were taking away opportunities for,
Yeah.
for genuine
laughs.
comedy.
Yeah.
To do the thing that wasn't funny.
This whole movie is weird. It's
Man.
a very weird
Fuck
movie.
this movie.
I mean, yeah, it's not a good movie. And I'm wondering how you feel about it now,
Yeah.
because you're the one who had the most kind of reverence for it and connection to it, really. Because this is just like a movie
Yeah.
in passing, and that was
It
giving
let
it
me
too much
down,
credit.
Man.
It did.
Did?
It let me down.
At what point during the movie, this rewatch, were you like, oh,
At
and
the
like
at
your
the
heart
ball
broke?
Shtick.
At the what?
Like with the physical comedy, the bits with the
Oh,
balls.
well, the
Oh, yeah, with the bouncing ball,
balls. So I was like, I remember this being so much more funny.
Yeah.
Than it
Also, if
actually
you got
is.
hit by a flying
you would be
You would be
dead.
bowling ball, your head would be
You would be dead.
dead. When it's coming down like that, I'm like,
Clancy Brown is dead.
I'm like,
I mean, to be fair, he's a big tough man, but still.
but still,
He's Mr. Krabs. Come on.
I mean,
He's also Lex Luthor.
I know.
the,
but he-
the
but I
human
know- I
skull
know
can
him-
only withstand so much pressure.
I know him as the crustacean that lives under the sea.
I mean,
So,
Loves his money.
you know,
money.
you know, you know what's funny though is if there was an article I read and it was basically a doctor who was basically racking up the kinds of injuries that Marv and Harry would have sustained in Home Alone. You know, the basically like the scene where Kevin has that whatever sort of like brand or heater thing that is that he
The
puts on the
blowtorch?
doorknob. You remember the thing he puts on the doorknob
Oh,
on
to get
the
it
front
super
door,
hot.
so it makes it super
Yeah.
hot, and it's like the doorknob is glowing red.
Yeah.
So firstly, for metal to glow red, that is a specific temperature, and for like
See, these are the facts that we're missing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
you
miss
got.
these facts, Joe. Just to let you know.
Oh, so that is a very specific temperature, and when Marv grabs that doorknob, that temperature is so high that it would immediately like necrotize the flesh, like it would kill the flesh in his hand. Like it would be
Gross.
Yes, and then like it wouldn't just be blisters; it would be like dead, essentially. When he gets the blowtorch to the head, you can see the colors of the flames again representing certain temperatures, and it would be so hot and for such an extended period of time. Because remember, he's kind of standing there for a while, just going ah.
Because it's mostly white flame, isn't it?
Blue,
Yeah.
like it's you know, and then
That's the
like white at the
hottest,
edges. It's super hot, and just the temperature of the flames and the time at which he was exposed to it would cause bone death in the skull. Like it would actually kill the bone, and then not to mention the paint cans to the face would not only like essentially break the face,
Yeah.
but also the fall backwards would like
Telling
crack
you,
the
it was
skull.
darker.
I mean,
It was a lot darker in the first right.
those guys would
Die.
be dead. I mean, they would, and I mean, they would have injuries such that they would be like impossible to come back from.
Oh, yeah.
And so I was kind of thinking about that with this movie, the bowling ball being a prime example of you're dead.
You're
The golf
dead,
ball- the
and
golf
you're
ball,
dead.
Maybe.
Even
but
the
it's
golf
still
ball.
Even the golf ball
it still has
jumping.
so much velocity coming down.
It's the velocity, but it's the weight
Inertia.
of the thing. So
Yeah.
like the Mythbusters did a thing to test the myth of if you throw a penny off the Empire State Building, could it kill somebody? And the thing is, it's going really fast. It does reach terminal velocity, but it doesn't have the mass to do anything more than just hurt. It won't even break the skin. It would just hurt.
Yeah.
So the golf ball, I think, lacks the mass, even though it has the acceleration. Bowling ball, on the other hand, has all
yeah.
the mass in the world.
Like you drop a bowling ball on your foot from like waist height. That's maybe like 2.
You're gonna break a
2
foot.
feet.
a
You're gonna
broken
break
toe.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. So that's what this movie was. This movie was just adults falling down.
Yeah. Adults falling down. The movie.
Literally at points falling down.
Yeah, yeah,
And stuff coming out of people's butts.
and
Yeah.
stuff coming out people's butts, which is generally comedy gold.
Yeah, usually or people coming out of animal butts. You know, if we're
Ace
going,
Ventura 2,
Yeah.
coming out of that rhino.
That's a good bit.
that's a pin.
That's a
That is
great
a
bit.
pin that is online somewhere, and I want it.
That's
A what?
hilarious. A
A
pin.
pin,
Oh,
a lapel pin.
okay.
I actually knew what you were saying that time. I was
Whoa,
like, yeah.
I've been away too long.
I know. I
Yeah.
was like,
Well, he also showed it to me on Instagram at one point.
maybe.
Because that's great. Mm-hmm. And it's a great scene.
Yeah. Ugh. That's a much better movie.
Let's just go watch When Nature Calls.
There you go. Yeah.
I do have some fun facts
Yeah.
and recastings. Is there anything else that we would like to discuss before I get into those?
So I will say there's one thing, and I looked it up ahead of time, but now I don't remember the director of this film, Les Mayfield. Because I remember thinking, like, I wonder what else this person has done. And in terms of directorship, he did 2010 The Odyssey Continues, and then he did a couple of like documentaries, a making of Back to the Future, and a TV movie documentary about Empire of the Sun for Spielberg's film. He directed Encino Man, the remake on Miracle on 34th Street, 34th Street. He did Blue Streak, American Outlaws, The Man, and Codename The Cleaner. Like, that's it. You know,
Those are all not
I
great movies.
just don't know where they got the A-list talent and then put this guy in charge.
It's Disney.
And thought I know, but I mean, like, everybody else has done so much and had done so much and is so sort of respected.
Yeah,
And
I
then
think at the
this
beginning
guy.
of the film it said a Les Mayfield picture or something like that.
Right.
In the opening credits.
Yeah.
So I was like,
Like, this guy was way out of his depth
yeah.
to be working with these people. And I can only imagine that, like, Dean Cundey and Danny Elfman and Robin Williams and Marsha Gay Harden were all just like,
Yeah.
dude.
And it shows.
And it shows. It shows. Nobody wants to be there.
Yeah. I did feel like that is, it's like, nobody wants to be
They're
in this
just doing
movie.
this for the Disney paycheck.
Yeah,
Yeah,
probably
kind
some house payment.
Yeah.
Or a whole house, maybe.
Yeah. Probably. So remember when you were talking about earlier, Joe, how it seemed like they were like kind of reining Robin Williams in?
Oh, yeah.
So according to Will Wheaton, in the scenes that he was in with Robin
Will
Williams,
Wheaton?
they with Robin Williams, they would film a take as it was supposed to be filmed, and then after that take, Williams would often improvise the scene differently in the script just for fun.
Sure.
These scenes were not added to the actual film, but there were enough scenes to make an entirely different movie.
Oh, my
What?
God. See, I would
Probably
see
a
that
better one.
movie.
Probably a better one.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
and that was probably Les Mayfield being like, no, we're not going to use those takes because this is how the script is, and we're going to go by the script.
Do you remember how I told you with Mark and Mindy that there would be whole sections of the script that were blank and it just
Yeah.
said Robin can go crazy here?
And I feel like they did that with Aladdin too.
I'm sure
They definitely did it with Aladdin.
Yeah.
There's on the Blu-ray DVD. I think it was the DVD that I had before. There's like you could video of him like recording his lines, and they literally just have like a sheet covering a bunch of stuff, and then they take the sheet off, and then he just grabs all the stuff,
yeah,
and he's
you
like,
tell me about
yeah,
that.
and he's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
he's like, he's riffing.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
just a bunch of different shit on the table, and
He's just responding to
you
it.
just go into it, and it's so cool.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's a Robin Williams performance.
That
right
is
there.
a sign of a good director.
Well, and I feel like also you have to know, it's like, okay, we're getting Robin Williams for this film. Robin Williams or Jim Carrey, you
Yeah.
know, like we're getting
Like
one
playing
of these
to
brilliant people.
That actor's strength.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
let that person just go because that is what you want from them.
Yeah.
And that's
That's what the audience wants from them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
They've made a career out of
Yeah.
being
This person.
Yeah.
And so it's like,
so that's interesting.
Yeah.
I would
Flubber.
love to see that fucking movie.
Yeah, I would love to too. I don't think that there's a Blu-ray out of it. I think it might be on DVD, but like I just want to see some of these behind the scenes or like deleted scenes even of these rift scenes. I want to see I just want to see him.
Yeah.
I just want to see him do his thing because that's what everyone loved about him so much.
Yeah.
Fun fact, there is a hidden Mickey on the poster.
Oh, really? The
Uh-huh.
bubbles somewhere?
Yeah, it's in the the flubber bubbles. And then we were talking about this when we were doing the Foley a couple months ago.
Oh, yeah.
It's a fun Foley fact that I found. Sound designer Andrew M. Summers created the sound of flubber by using a rubber balloon filled with water, Metamucil, and air.
Huh.
The Metamucil became gloopy in the balloon and helped make a rubbery, gurgly sound. And the voice of flubber, performed by Scott Martin Gershon, was processed to raise the pitch in order to sound small and squeaky.
Interesting.
flubber.
Also, Steven Spielberg was considering producing this movie, which probably would have made a totally different movie.
Added some warmth to it at least.
Yeah. But there is a
Well,
reference
not necessarily.
to...
He did produce the Transformers films, and you know.
He did?
Yeah.
Forgot about that. But there is an E.T. reference when they are flying. When he takes Sarah for a ride in the clouds, he flies in front of the moon. As the clouds disperse, you can see like the E.T. with the bike thing. That's like a reference.
Yeah, I feel like I remember that.
But I do have some of John Hughes's choices for Philip. Or
Is that his character's name?
Philip
Philip
Brainerd.
Brainerd.
Oh.
Which is even just like, fuck that name.
Ugh.
Even though that might have been the original character's name too, the Fred McMurray character.
Yeah.
But it's just like, Brainerd.
Because he's got a big
Brain.
brain.
Yeah.
So
I
John
get it.
Hughes' first choice was always Robin Williams. But some of his other choices include Christopher Lloyd, Jeff Goldblum, John Lithgow, Tim Allen, and Sir Patrick Stewart.
Ooh.
You know, I would have loved to see Lithgow.
It would have been so interesting.
Lithgow would have been good.
Yeah.
I think, a list of those are fine
Yeah, I
actors.
feel like
I can see the movie
Tim
playing.
Allen maybe not
No.
because
Because he doesn't, he's...
he's not like
He's not a smart guy.
Yeah, also, I can't buy him as a smart man.
No.
No.
That's why he's perfect as Tim Taylor.
Yeah, he's the tool man
And,
Taylor.
and honestly, Christopher Lloyd would be perfect for it, but I almost don't want to see him do
No,
it.
it would have been.
It's
the
just
you,
Doc.
yeah, you
It's
would have
just
been like,
Doc
oh,
from
it's
Back
Doc.
to the Future.
Although the thing is Christopher Lloyd is such a character actor that I think he could have found a way to
Yeah.
do something else.
I think everyone would have been like, "Oh, it's Ian Malcolm." If it was Goldblum,
Yeah.
he would have been too. He would have been too perform. He would have been too flowery. I don't know the right word to use for that.
I think Flowery is a good choice. I think that also he would have been almost too like I think we would have absolutely believed that he was absent-minded.
Yeah, I think it would have worked, but I don't know. It's just I've been watching The World According to Jeff Goldblum
Me too.
again, and it's like anytime anything he brings to a role is him.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I could have seen him doing this role. Like, and maybe the absent-mindedness of his cadence, but he's also too, like, he's too flamboyant. I think that's the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
That would not have worked for this character.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
But I don't think Sir Patrick Stewart either.
I just want to see Sir Patrick Stewart in
a comedy.
anything, really.
I would, yeah. I mean, I would love
He's
to see
great
him
at
do
comedies,
anything.
too.
He is.
He's
Oh, yeah,
so
no,
good.
he is a hilarious man.
Yeah.
He is hilarious.
That would have been interesting.
I think out of these men, John Lithgow would have been probably the best second choice.
Yeah. Patrick Stewart. Good old Pat Stew.
Yeah.
Star Trek Picard coming out soon.
Are you gonna watch it, Joe? It's gonna be on CBS All Access, isn't it?
I'm going to have to find a way to watch it. Yes.
To procure it.
Yeah,
But yeah,
interesting.
that's my facts.
Those are the facts.
Those are the facts.
Sticking to them.
And I'm going to tell you these facts. The movie sucks.
Yeah.
So does it hold up?
Don't no.
No!
Nope.
Nope.
Nope. 12-year-old me was spot on.
Yeah. I apologize to my 7 to 12-year-old self.
What about us? What about us, Amy? We're right here. You're 7 to 12-year-old you.
Yeah.
Fucking somewhere else.
It's time
Hey.
I'm never getting back, Amy.
Yeah. Well, I watched this movie probably a solid 50 times when I was a child.
That's
explains
you
the
should have
brain
been
damage.
you should have been doing other things.
Yeah.
Right? Explains a lot.
Well, you
All
guys,
right.
let us know what you think of Flubber on Twitter or Instagram at Nostalgitis, NOSTALGITIS, or on email, nostalgiaeffectpod@gmail.com. And don't forget to be kind and rewind.
Fucking flubber.